Abel, Dorkin Anime coming at you guys again with another video. I'll be speaking upon another installment of my anime types, and today's anime types topical segment video is going to be about cool/mysterious character inside of anime and manga series. Basically what that is that I'm going to talk about characters who seem to be kept towards more themselves and who are cool but are quiet and mysterious. God damn, hold on. It's tight. Damn, I got this tight red shirt and shit. It's spring. But bear with me, I'll do this. Just about cool/mysterious characters, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've been rewatching a series that I've been a fan of and that I watched a year back, and it's called Gungrave. And with Gungrave, of course, you have the main protagonist, Brandon Heat. And as I saw the main protagonist, Brandon Heat, it actually made me think about, he was a silent character, and it made me think about these cool/mysterious/darker characters and protagonists in anime and manga. And I'm not talking about villains, I'm talking about protagonists. Side characters such as Sasuke Uchiha, Brandon Heat from the series of Gungrave, and Father Abel from the series of Trinity Blood, and etc., who are mysterious. And I think it's important to talk about these characters because in general, the YouTube anime community, any type of anime community, anime and manga fans like the type of individual who is edgy or who is silent or who has a lot to tell us but doesn't say a lot. It's kind of the opposite to what we usually get inside of the shonen manga, battle manga specifically, when you get eccentric characters and loud characters such as Luffy, Kenichi, Ichigo, etc. But I gotta say that I'm a little topsy-turvy on this type of character because this is the bottom line. If a cool, mysterious, darker, more plot intuitive character is interesting, then the series as a whole and the quality will be brought up. But if the series does not properly convey the character's emotions or does not properly make the character play on the audience's emotions, then the character's not going to be good, and it's going to be 10 times as worse as what it originally was. Now, some of the things I like about these dark characters is about their character development. Usually these characters such as Sasuke, Brandon Heat, Father Abel, like I said before, go through specific amounts of character development and character traits. Why? Because these type of cool and mysterious characters go through introspection. These silent, cool, mysterious, unknown characters who are in the series towards the other characters that they reflect upon in the series and towards the audience, when I'm watching or when I'm reading a manga, watching an anime, it allows for more introspection upon the character, and when you get that, you get better development. So 9 times out of 10 these characters are better when they're more mysterious and silent, and I appreciate that aspect to them. And moreover, that'll facilitate progression of the story. For example, in Brandon Heat, inside of the series of Gungrave, he starts out as a thug who is with his buddies and friends, but as he goes all throughout the series at the time, he goes through a series of change, and we get to realize this change because we know his thoughts as he's saying things, because he is a mysterious character towards the other characters in the story, but since we have introspection, we're enlightened upon his reactions, his emotions, what he's doing, how he feels. Again, with Father Abel, he's another character who portrays another type of mysterious or cool factor to him. He's the type who plays like a typical shonen manga protagonist, where he's eccentric, he's easygoing, he's not as intelligent as the average person, but he makes up for that in light that the series shows and the character shows through introspection and through his cool/mysterious background, that isn't his true character, and his character shines through the fact that we still have much more to figure out about him and to figure out his impact on the series and how he develops in the series. I must say that I don't like these characters in regards to story progression. Because when you think about progressing a story, when these characters are developed and when they usually have certain things that you talk about, you have to develop them through either their flashbacks, their backstory, their introspection, their character thoughts, and such. But that slows down the story. I'll give another example when it comes to the series of Naruto Shippuden. As Sasuke is dealing with coming to terms with his ideals now that he knows the truth about Itachi Uchiha's reasons and will for killing his entire clan. Now all this flashback and all this meaning behind trying to find new meaning and trying to wrap up this story in order for the character to have continuity isn't progressing the story as much, and it's dragging out the lines. What that does is that makes the character at least not have the momentum that it had before in regards to the audience's interest, because you're swaying them away. That kind of reminds me back when they had, not too long ago, the Kabuto flashback. In the middle of the fight between Kabuto and Uchiha brothers, we wanted to see the fight with them and not specifically the Kabuto flashback, because we wanted to see the progression of Sasuke and Itachi and how they would do with that fight, and we also wanted to see the progression of the war with Madara Uchiha and the other 5 Kage. But as you can see from that, my dislikes upon that is story progression, because there isn't much story progression being done because of these mysterious characters, in my opinion. Also, when you deal with these type of characters, another thing that I do not like in regards in anime, manga, a series that you see is, moreover, just the personality traits. Because when you get the personality traits of these characters who are intuitive or who keep to themselves, 9 times out of 10, it's not meant to play off of most of characters. And when you think of a series, for example, like One Piece, where Luffy is eccentric towards the whole crew and there's a different set of relationships for each member of the crew, it'll either make you think, it'll either entertain you, or make you think, laugh, feel, And that's one of the 3 main important things that I want to get out of a series. With these characters, it takes an extended amount of time to make you feel, because there's the build up through their development, their psychological development, and the progression of the story. But since there's more introspection inside of these characters, it takes a longer time to progress with the story, which means it takes a longer time, to make me think, feel, or get entertained by anything in the story. Usually mangaka will fill in the time by entertaining you through the story with slight instances where the characters show their attitudes. Like, let's say if Sasuke is in a silly quip with Sakura and Naruto back in part 1 of Naruto, then I don't understand that. Or when Father Abel portrays his not character persona as he's stupid or silly, or he acts flirty with a girl or two, something like that. Overall, these characters are good, but the thing that makes them important is the fact that they are one of the most interesting and one of the most important shonen, seinen, any type of demographic in genre type characters inside of manga and anime. You think of others, you think of Light Yagami and his antagonist L, you think of plenty Fujiki Genosuke, the type of mysterious, cool persona. And when you look at it and you think, damn, this guy's such a boss, I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're right. But then other times, when the story doesn't progress well, and when the character isn't too intuitive with what they're doing, then you grow to hate the characters. I've grown to dislike Sasuke Uchiha because of this extended amount of time with him being the character that he is, mysterious, cool, driving towards a goal, and silent. And since his character isn't in line with his actions and what I would want him to do inside of Naruto Shippuden, then I'm not interested in him anymore. Yet Father Abel kept my interest through most of the anime and manga, due to other varying factors, because the manga and anime are short. And also, Brandon Heat kept my interest throughout the full tenure of his series because he goes through logical character progression. He changes over time, and I like the growth that he goes through and what type of role he plays in the series. So overall, I've said overall like 5 times, I'm sorry. Take into a look, when you look at these cool and mysterious characters, how they affect the series, what type of personality traits they have, and get a better insight upon how they affect it and why they're affecting it. Because if you're going to have a cool and mysterious character who's going to have introspection and who's not going to play off of many characters as well, then he better have some interesting development and an interesting story to go with it. Because if it's not interesting development and if it's not interesting story going with it, then the character won't work. Overall, that's my opinion. So it's been Dual Killing Anime. Like or dislike this video does not matter as long as you get my name out there. You've had all the quality content with none of the filler. If you don't know what that is, then you need to watch more anime. Support my channel and support my collaboration channel, the 11 Supernovas, with my other 9 Supernovas in there. Alright guys, peace.